I see one of the most disturbing stories. Now, this has been in the news now for 2 days, and ask yourself this question. Why isn't anyone talking about this? This is one of the most disturbing stories I have ever heard in my entire broadcast career. And that is this. The FCC has now decided that they need to monitor the newsrooms. They need to figure out how story selection works in the newsroom. And so the FCC is putting monitors in local radio stations, in local television stations, to monitor how stories are selected. But not just monitor to learn. No. Monitor to make sure that those stories are all in the public interest. You cannot allow the federal government into your local newsrooms. You cannot allow them to take over the local news. This is not happening in cable yet. But net neutrality is back. And so net neutrality is the way they're going to get through into the internet and onto cable. Do you see what's happening? They are taking over education. They are taking over media. Literally, not just co-opting them, not just saying, did you see what Robin Wright Penn said? Robin Wright, she was the woman from The Princess Bride. Robin Wright, she's now in House of Cards. She says D.C. is more corrupt than Hollywood. One of the details that caused her to arrive at such a conclusion reportedly came from a senior person in the Obama administration who told her, like on the show, reporters really do sleep with their D.C. sources. That apparently wasn't all she learned while researching what goes on in Washington, D.C. While researching her role as a powerful politician's wife, she just didn't reveal everything she was told. D.C. is more corrupt than Hollywood. It really is. It's more sleazy than Hollywood. How much infidelity goes on. It's more sleazy than Hollywood. And the reporters, this is the key, the reporters are sleeping with their sources. When we say the press is in bed with the politicians, we mean the press is in bed with the politicians. Woodrow Wilson started this in the 1900s, in the early 1900s. He started this cozy relationship. They used to be adversaries, and they didn't have a Washington press corps. Your local press would come out, and they would want to know what was going on. And so your local press would go out, and they were sent to be adversaries to keep these guys on the up and up. That's no longer the case. Why? Woodrow Wilson started the press club. He started the press club dinner. Let's get everybody together and have a big White House dinner. Let's bring them into the fold. Then Woodrow Wilson's team started the Council of Foreign Relations. Let's bring them into the fold. Let's bring all of the brightest minds along with all the brightest minds of the media, and we will have the brightest minds teach the brightest minds of the media how to teach it to the schlubs back home. It's not a conspiracy. The Council of Foreign Relations isn't a star chamber. It's simple. You are a worthless worm. You are too stupid to understand. The press understands because they're the educated elite, and they will take the marching orders from the people who speak at the Council of Foreign Relations, and the Council of Foreign Relations will teach the reporters what needs to happen, because what's really happening in the world. There's no nefarious people walking around. The people who are in the Council of Foreign Relations are not necessarily bad guys any more than the people who are outside of the Council of Foreign Relations are bad guys. The system is bad. The system was set up to put you on the outside. You need to be educated by those guys. Well, that's not what we set up. That's not what the founders set up. That's not our system. What is the rank of the United States of America with freedom of press? Think in your mind right now, what number are we? In all of the world, where do we rank currently, today, before the FCC has monitors in all of our newsrooms? And I want you to know, that's not a conspiracy theory. That is fact. They are putting monitors, FCC monitors, in our local newsrooms. Warning, America. Warning. So what is the rank that you think in your head right now? Say a number. what are there, 160 nations, 160 or 180 nations? Mm-hmm. Where do you think we rank on freedom of press in the world?
Well, because of the First Amendment, we got to be first or second, right?
I would think top five. I would say top five, because if I wouldn't be coming to you if it was number one, mm-hmm. And I would think top five, maybe
top 10,
maybe top 10. We have fallen down to the top 10. Stu, where would you think we are?
Honestly, I would think. I mean, my first guess would be one. This was where we should be, but assuming you're bringing this up for a reason, I mean, maybe some countries have moved ahead of us. Maybe we're 15, 12.
Okay, so, all right, 12 or 15. Jeffy?
We got to be in the top 10, right? If we're not
10.
Number one.
Okay, top 10. I would say top 5 or top 10. Where are we?
46th.
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 In freedom of press. 46th. America, you better wake up now. You better wake up. Our neighbors have better wake up. They better wake up. Now, here's the good news. I really, truly believe that because of things like the 9/12 Project, because of the Tea Party. Yesterday was the 5th anniversary of the Tea Party. Did you know that? Santelli yesterday, 5 years ago, he said that epic rant. Do you happen to have that, Pat? The Santelli rant?
I don't know if I still have that.
Let's see if you can find it.
Yeah.
But he gave an epic rant 5 years ago yesterday. And because of that, I think that we have started to really wake up. And it wasn't because Barack Obama. It was because of TARP. That was the first wake-up call. And I really, truly believe that because of that rant, we really have a chance now. Because Americans educated themselves. We just have to get out into the light. There's safety in numbers, and there is safety in the light. The question is, are there going to be enough of us? I mean this sincerely. I don't think we save the country, because the country's already gone. As I told you this yesterday, the country is no longer what you think it is. You got to stop thinking old think. The United States of America no longer is what you think it is. And let me just give you off the top of my head. Did the United States of America that you know, did it spy on its own people? Did it listen to all of the phone calls or store all of the phone calls, all of the records? Did the United States of America have a president that would lie to you and get away with it? Did the United States of America leave people behind, then put people in prison because they were accusing them of really being the source of that embassy bombing? Would that happen? Would the United States of America just scoop up somebody in the United States and put them in jail without a trial at all, without being able to face their accuser? Would the United States of America that you know, would it just kill its own citizens? Would the United States of America then an hour later take that same drone and kill a family member and just claim it was an accident? Okay, so it killed one citizen and then went and killed its 16-year-old son an hour later, and they claim somehow or another that was an accident. Does that happen in the America you know? In the United States of America that you know, does Common Core happen? In the United States of America that you know, were they printing money? I mean, gang, it is time to forget the United States of America that you know. It's not that anymore. It's not. The fundamental transformation has happened. In the United States of America that you know, do they put FCC monitors in newsrooms to make sure that they understand how stories are selected and to make sure that those stories are in the public interest? Not in America, I know. I don't know what this country is. I know what this country used to be, and I know what this country is turning into. I don't know what this country is today. But I know this: if that is what is required to pledge allegiance to, I am no longer a citizen of this country. If I am required to pledge allegiance to that, I proudly declare now for my grandchildren's ears, I am not a part of this. The good news is, I think there's enough of us now who are awake that we may not be able to save the country, but we will save the Constitution. If we are the country, we dropped 27 slots last year in freedom of press. Think of that. 27 positions. We are now, what is it?
47th, not 46th.
47th place in freedom of press. 47th. There are only 180 nations globally. Think of that. 47 countries are ahead of the country that says Article 1, Amendment 1, freedom of press. 47 other nations have it better than we do. And why did we drop 27 positions in the last 12 months? Because we're arresting journalists. In a story that is not being reported, the FCC is now putting people into your local television and radio newsrooms to figure out how is news being decided? How are stories selected? And we just want to make sure this is all in the public interest for your local area. And so what I said to make Stu say, we got to get you out of New York is, if this is who we are as a nation, if they say to me, which it will happen, gang, they already are saying there's no place for you in New York. If you believe that life begins at conception, there's no place for you. If you believe in the Second Amendment, there's no place for you. So they're already saying this. And because I am such a student of history, I look to the history that we're making right now. Forget about the past. What history are we making right now? Our children and our grandchildren will read about this time, and they will ask, what did you do, Grandpa? What did you and Grandma do? Were you guys part of this? And so what I said a few minutes ago was, if we are the nation, if they say, you're an American citizen, and that means we can spy on our own people without a court order, just a blanket warrant against the Constitution. We can kill babies, abort babies. We can arrest journalists who are trying to leak information to make sure the American people know what's going on. We can kill our own citizens without trial because the government has decided that the president can just sign an execution order and he can fly a drone over and just kill a citizen. And then an hour later, kill his 16-year-old son and then claim that one was an accident. We can leave our own people behind in Benghazi and then blame it on somebody else, throw his butt in prison, then lie about it, get caught, and say, what difference does it make? If that's what is required for me to accept to be an American citizen, I want my children and my grandchildren to know, your father and your grandfather is taking a stand right now. I will not be a part of that. I will proudly be a citizen of the Republic of the United States of America. I will proudly be a citizen that respects and lives and protects the Constitution of the United States of America. But they are no longer that country. It is not, I didn't leave my country. My country left me. I'm still right where I've always been and where the country used to be, ruled by the Constitution. When they can just take over our schools and lie to us about it, and use that to be in collusion with these giant corporations to data mine our children. When Google can say we're not data mining, we're not using any of that data mining, but then in a court of law, when their attorneys are like, no, you've got to tell the truth here or you're in real trouble, and they actually come out and say, okay, yes, we are going to use the data mining, and nobody cares, I'm not part of that. I want no part of that. I will stand against that in every way, shape, and form because I believe in something. And I don't think I'm alone. I think courage is contagious. We're preserving history. But I also, yesterday, bought one of the spookiest things. I don't even know where we're going to put this thing. Because I don't want it in my house. I don't want it in the movie studios. I don't know where we're going to put it. I think I'm going to put it in a glass case in the movie studios, in the place where we're going to put a lot of this history. I bought it because it is an interrogation chair. And it's all reinforced and has a bigger seat than, it was in a large seat so you could sit there and squirm. It has straps on it. And it was for persons of interest. Now, listen carefully. Listen to the language. It was for persons of interest that were brought in for questioning. Well, if I'm a person of interest, why are there straps on this chair? Why are you strapping me to this chair?
I'll keep that for you.
Yeah, I know. I don't think you will,
problem.
Jeffy. When you hear what's stamped on the bottom of it. What's stamped on the bottom of it is the big German eagle. And in German, it says, and I'm not kidding you, Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, my God.
Those who do not know history are doomed, not destined, doomed to repeat it. No history.